The topic for discussion is growth of industrial combinations. The joint stock company form of organization has served and is still serving the needs of commerce and industry, especially in the matter of providing facilities for the mobilization of a large amount of capital as the enterprise flourishes and expands. But with the development of industrialization within the country and other countries of the world, there arose the necessity of developing some sort of a technique in organization. The supply of capital and efficient managerial ability are not by themselves sufficient for the development of industries in the national as well as international spheres. The industrial development in different parts of the world, combined with the tendency of different countries to become as far as possibly economically self-sufficient, has been responsible for competition in the international field. In the national field, one unit is trying to oust the word other from the market in order to maximize its own profits. The result is severe unhealthy competition, leading ultimately to disastrous consequences. Unrestricted growth of business leads in many cases to growth of production unbalanced by an increasing effective demand. As each country develops its industry and commerce, it feels increasing difficulty in producing and marketing the goods successfully unless further expensive research is undertaken in both the directions. The research must be undertaken on a joint basis, and such research is almost always beyond the capacity of any individual unit. The result of such joint research must be pooled and exchanged. All these result in the growth of combinations in the national and international spheres. Industrialists realized the necessity of combining together in very many ways and for many purposes, such as controlling prices, production, raw material, marketing, and profits. So combinations thus may be thought of as the children of economic necessity, but their form and mode of cooperation have been determined by special needs of promoters in each industry and in each country, the facilities or obstacles existing there, and economic conditions of each national market. England, at one time, with her well-established export trade and having a great colonial empire and extensive network of financial relations, felt less the necessity of combinations owing to the factors just mentioned acting as a safety valve for overproduction. Whereas in USA and Germany, the absence of such facilities partly acted as an impetus for the growth of combinations. So with the trust and Germany with the cartel, USA with trust, exhibit the typical form of two large categories of combinations in which all others can be placed. Governments in many countries are now taking active part in combination movement. Governments have realized the need of intervene in this matter to protect the consumers against harmful monopolistic practices of big combinations. Enactment of the Iron and Steel Companies Amalgamation Act by 1952 by the Government of India to effect amalgamation of the Indian Iron and Steel Company Limited with Steel Corporation of Bengal Limited is a case in point. Establishment of Sugar Syndicate Limited is another example. Now, the provisions are made in the Companies Act for amalgamation of two or more companies in the national interest. It is worth mentioning also how the Coal Mines Act of 1930 in Great Britain resulted in the cartelization of the mining industry. Under this, the industry was obliged to set up bodies for controlling output and prices, for distributing quotas of production among various mines based mainly on past performances. With the government encouragement, sales syndicates were also set up with the centralized control of the sale of the output of mines. Combinations in the industrial and commercial field cannot be considered to be a modern origin. They are some form or other, but even before the days of the Industrial Revolution, and the guilds of the every early day were the example of this. Now, there are different types of combinations. When we speak of combination in industry, we think of the combination of different units distinguished from combinations of natural persons such as partnership or joint companies, which are known as simple combinations. The former type is known as compound combinations, a combination of artificial persons. And this type may be divided into simple associations, federations, consolidations. Consolidations may further divided into partial and complete consolidations. All combinations are divided into horizontal combinations, which may be trade combinations, and vertical combinations, which may be industrial combinations. So horizontal combinations are formed to eliminate competition and secure economies of larger scale management by a combination of different units engaged in the same line of business or in the same stage of production. Combination of the units before the formation of combinations were competing side by side. So the combinations tend towards market control. Now, a vertical combination is one where different units, usually working in successive stages of production, unite together. Here, the idea is to have the production from the raw material stage to finished product being carried in one unit. The units combined stand to end that the finished product of one becomes the raw material of the other. This, in doubt, gives full scope to derive all the benefits of large-scale production, but it also makes it possible for the combined unit to be independent of market, especially where large extent as regards the supply of raw materials. It does not mean that both the objectives and control of the market and to be independent of it or obtained to a large extent is to be supposed. The United Steel Corporation, it owns what are certainly the best mines for cooking coal and the most important deposits of iron ore, and embraces all stages of manufacturers up to the finished steel products, although it has moreover the closest financial relations with important railway lines. It is nevertheless dependent upon the open market at all stages as both buyer and seller, and its share in the total steel production has very considerably diminished since its foundation. So that may be in many trusts in the United States which through vertical and horizontal combinations seek to lower the cost of production as far as possible, have all failed to establish monopolies, proved by mere fact that there are several of these huge organizations existing side by side in almost every branch of industry. Now, combinations have also been classified direct and indirect. Combinations which arise as a result of the normal evolutionary process known as direct. Indirect combinations are those which come into existence as a result of abnormal market conditions. Another classification is aggressive and defensive. The latter also known as remedial. As the name suggests, the former kind of combination implies a part of combining units or new unit, a desire to invade a new market. The latter implies a combination on the part of those whose market has been invaded to defend themselves. So it may also be due to desire on the part of the combination to get over some difficulties such as overproduction or abnormal market conditions. Thank you.